The air was thick with betrayal. The day my family turned their backs on me, I stood in that courtroom, my wrists cuffed, my heart pounding like a drum in my chest, while my sister pointed at me and swore I'd stolen everything they had. The judge's gavel slammed down, sentencing me to 7 years in a maximum security prison for a crime I didn't commit. My name is Layla Monroe, and this is the story of how my family framed me, how I clawed my way to power behind bars, and how they came crawling back, begging for forgiveness. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now and join this wild journey. You won't believe what happens next. I grew up in a small town in Ohio, the kind of place where everyone knows your business and your family name carries weight. The Monroes were respected. My father ran a hardware store, my mother was a church deacon, and my older sister, Claire, was the golden child. Always perfect, always adored. Me, I was the dreamer, the one who wanted more than a quiet life. I'd started a small online business selling handmade jewelry, and it was taking off. By 25, I was making real money, enough to buy a car, rent my own place, and start saving for a future outside that suffocating town. But success breeds jealousy, and I never saw it coming. It started with whispers. Claire, who'd always been competitive, began dropping hints that my business was shady. She'd smile at family dinners, then mutter to my parents about how I was too ambitious or hiding something. My parents, who'd always favored her, started looking at me differently. Then, one day, my world collapsed. I came home to find police cars in my driveway, lights flashing, neighbors gawking. They said I'd been laundering money through my business, funneling cash to some criminal network. The evidence? Bank records showing thousands of dollars moving through my accounts I didn't even know existed. My parents stood there, stone-faced, as the cuffs clicked around my wrists. Claire was crying, but I saw the flicker of a smirk on her face. I screamed, "I didn't do this." But no one listened. The trial was a nightmare. My family testified against me. My father, with his head bowed, said he'd found suspicious receipts in my room. My mother claimed I'd been secretive, sneaking around at night. Claire was the star witness, sobbing as she told the court I'd bragged about easy money and how I'd threatened her when she asked questions. Every word was a lie, but the jury ate it up. My lawyer was overworked, underpaid, and no match for the prosecutor's polished story. When the guilty verdict came, it felt like the floor dropped out from under me. 7 years. 7 years in Blackwood Women's Penitentiary, a place notorious for breaking even the toughest souls. Blackwood was hell on earth. The first day, I walked through those iron gates, the air heavy with the smell of bleach and despair. The other inmates sized me up half fresh meat. They called me. I was 5'4", barely 120 pounds. With no idea how to survive in a place like this. The guards were no better. They looked at us like we were less than human. My first night, I cried myself to sleep in a cell with a flickering light and a bunkmate who sharpened her toothbrush into a shiv. I thought, this is it. This is where I lose myself. But something shifted in me that first week. I was sitting in the cafeteria, staring at my tray of gray slop, when a group of inmates cornered me. Their leader, a woman named Big Tony with scars crisscrossing her arms, demanded my dessert, a stale cookie, the only thing worth eating. I could have given in, but I was done being a victim. I looked her in the eye and said, "Take it, and I'll make sure you choke on it." The room went silent. Tony laughed, but there was respect in her eyes. That moment sparked something in me, a fire I didn't know I had. I started watching, learning. Blackwood wasn't just a prison, it was a world with its own rules, its own power structure. The inmates ran everything, a contraband, favors, even the guards were in on it. I wasn't strong, but I was smart. I began trading favors, using what I'd learned from my business. I'd help inmates write letters to their families, draft appeals, even negotiate deals between rival groups. Word spread. Layla Monroe was someone you could trust, someone who could get things done. Within 6 months, I'd built a network. By year 1, I was running it. They started calling me the prison queen. I didn't just survive Blackwood, I ruled it. I organized a system where inmates could trade goods without violence. cutting down on fights. I bribed guards with smuggled cigarettes to get extra phone time for the women who needed to call their kids. I even started a secret book club, smuggling novels from the library to keep our minds sharp. But power comes with enemies. A rival, a woman named Viper with a rap sheet longer than my arm, saw me as a threat. One night, she cornered me in the showers with a blade. "You think you are untouchable, Queen?" she hissed. I didn't flinch. I'd learned to read people, to find their weaknesses. Viper was all bravado, but she was scared of losing her place. I talked her down, offered her a cut of my operation, and turned an enemy into an ally. That's when I knew I wasn't just surviving, I was thriving. Back home, my family thought I was broken, forgotten. They'd moved on, spending the money from my business, which Claire had taken over. But I wasn't done. I started digging, using my connections to get information from the outside. An inmate's cousin worked at a bank, and I paid her to trace those mysterious accounts from my trial. What she found changed everything. The accounts weren't many, they were Claire's. She'd set up shell companies, funneled money through them, and pinned it on me. My parents? They weren't innocent either. They'd signed off on documents, believing Claire's lies that I was the criminal. The betrayal cut deeper than any prison shiv ever could. I had 3 years left on my sentence, but I wasn't waiting. I contacted a lawyer, a pro bono pitbull named Maria Valdez, who'd heard about my case through a guard I'd helped. Maria was relentless, digging up evidence, tracking down witnesses who'd been paid to lie. The truth unraveled like a thread. Claire had been jealous of my success, terrified I'd outshine her. My parents, too weak to question her, went along with it. They'd framed me to protect the family name, to keep Claire's lies from being exposed. Maria built a case, and by my 5th year, I was standing in a courtroom again, this time for an appeal. The day of the hearing, my family was there. Claire looked pale, her perfect facade crumbling. My parents wouldn't meet my eyes. The judge overturned my conviction, citing overwhelming evidence of misconduct. I walked out of Blackwood a free woman, but I wasn't the same Layla who'd gone in. I was sharper, stronger, unbreakable. I didn't go back to Ohio. I moved to Atlanta, started over. My story spread first through whispers, then through news articles. The prison queen, they called me, a woman who'd turned hell into her kingdom. I rebuilt my business, this time bigger, better. My jewelry line went national, featured in magazines, worn by celebrities. I was living proof you could rise from ashes. Then they came. Claire showed up at my office one day, tears streaming, begging forgiveness. I was jealous. Layla, I didn't mean for it to go this far. My parents followed, sending letters, calling, pleading for a chance to make it right. They were drowning in guilt, their perfect family image shattered. Claire's lies had caught up with her. She lost everything, her reputation, her friends. My parents' store was failing, their savings gone. They needed me now, the daughter they'd betrayed. I looked at Claire, at the sister who'd stolen my life, and I felt a broken bar. Nothing, not anger, not pity. I'd built my empire without them, and I didn't need their apologies. You made your choice, I told her, live with it. I walked away, leaving them in the dust of their own making. Today, I'm not just free, I'm unstoppable. Blackwood didn't break me, it forged me. I've got a new family now, one I built from the women I met inside, the ones who taught me strength, loyalty, courage. I'm telling my story because I want you to know, no matter how deep the betrayal, no matter how dark the cage, you can rise. You can become the queen of your own life. Thank you so much for watching this incredible journey. I poured my heart into telling Layla's story, and I'd love to hear from you. From which part of the country are you watching this video? Drop it in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation going. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that'll keep you on the edge of your seat. See you in the next one.